Golden brown texture like sun lays me down. With my mind she runs throughout the night. No need to fight, never a frown with golden brown. Every time, just like the last, on her ship, tied to the mast, to distant lands, takes both my hands, never a frown with golden brown.
I'd like to say that I only make art for myself, but I think it's impossible because we're given these chances, even as young children, to get feedback or positive feedback from doing something well. And that pat on the back, or, I mean, it's a good feeling, it's a rush. So I'd like to say that I make it only for myself, but it's always going to slip in there that I'm thinking of the audience somehow. You know, will this image or this body of work be successful in someone else's eyes? Maybe I can pick one or two people that I would think about if it were to be successful in their eyes or not, but I'm always at least somewhere thinking about an audience somewhere.
I was trained by modernists. My university that I went to, the art department is very small, and they taught me to think about Greenbergian formalism predominantly. So it was myself and the painting, and that was it. I don't think I really ever thought about the ways in which a viewer might interpret these things.
I like to, with my own work, I like to play with sets of rules and expectations. And those rules and expectations are usually set up by others and by myself. So yes, my artwork is set up with the expectation that it will be viewed. I don't think that I would ever create something just to purely satisfy myself.
I guess I'm elitist in that sense. Audience. Why bother in trying to make artwork that it's going to appeal to everybody? You're gonna end up with something that is too general.
And I think what we've witnessed from the 60s onward is a flattening out or an opening up for the viewer, which I guess is what you're kind of driving at here, which is that a lot of artists working now, I think I include myself in this, place the viewer as a, you know, it's the death of the author and Roland Barthes and that kind of idea, which states that instead of the artist being the authority who is using an artwork to communicate one idea or whatever to a recipient, to a viewer who is a passive kind of receiver of information, I think it's a very healthy situation now that artists can provide clues, elements within the show which allows the individual to take from it what they will. So it's a shift from object to subject. It's to do with the audience being empowered rather than the artist, and for me that's a good move, I think.
Absolutely. Arthur Danto is one of his theories is that in the 70s, 60s, and 70s, when conceptual art was born, when philosophy came into art, painting was no longer about painting. Painting was about philosophy, painting about painting, trying to define what the limits of painting are. And once conceptualism or philosophy got brought into the picture, then bam, I mean, it's just wide open. The 20th century especially, that have caused those borders to break down. Duchamp's invention of the ready-made would be one. The experimentation that Rauschenberg and the Black Mountain College guys were doing with experimental video and things like that.
And Richter, as well as these American writers I'm interested in, are very often playing kind of postmodern games where they're neither one thing nor another. There's a sort of a refusal to conform to one established orthodoxy of practice. So,
in the school that I went to, they didn't encourage art very much, so humanities didn't have they didn't play a big role. That's why I became even more interested in those. And a way of escaping would be literature for me. I wrote poetry because that's what I could do. I didn't have a camera, and what was easier for me just was to write.
My dad, as well as being a town planner, is a painter. And when I was about 9 or 10 years old, he bought me some paints, and that got me started on that. But yeah, that kind of background really kind of infused me with an interest in art. And I mentioned earlier, my brother is a landscape architect, my sister's a photographer, so everybody that I know and my family members make stuff, you know.
So I took a lot of dance classes, and I listened to a lot of classical music, and I really had to respond to the space around me and to the music, and I really thought that was engaging. So it probably started there, and I think that that's strange, but the first time I really got excited about a piece of artwork was an installation work. I went to New York and I saw this piece by an artist named Sildo Mireles.
Yes.
Have you?
Yes,
Yeah?
I
Okay.
love his work.
I love his work too, and I had such an emotional reaction to his work that I realized that it was, I don't know, overwhelming, and that not necessarily that I had to, you know, like pursue it as a career, but just that it was important to me.
For the feeling, or you make it to search for a reason? Maybe.
I